Hello there, Jonathan here. Jonathan on his channel Pananero. I don't know, do I ever explain where that name came from? Maybe not today. Today I'm going to talk about just bits and pieces. The title of the video, Medical Timeout, is because I haven't done a video for 4 weeks, and that is because I've had a retinal tear in my right eye, top corner of my right eye, and that just came out of nowhere. It happened for no particular reason. Ironically, it was when I was driving to go and play tennis on a Tuesday evening that it occurred. By the time I got there, it was only 5 minutes drive away, but by the time I got there, my eye was completely sort of foggy, really misty and hazy and blurry. I couldn't really see very well. I tried to play a little bit, but it didn't last long. So, and I was advised by NHS 111, the NHS helpline number, which is they're great. They're really good, and they said you need to go to A&E. You're not. Your eye needs attention urgently. So, fortunately, one of my friends that was at the tennis club that was playing with us, they had a few games, and then they took me to A&E. So I was there for waiting for a few hours, and they saw me and they did a lot of tests. I was pretty impressed with all the equipment and the ophthalmology department, or the eye clinic that was there at the time, and in the evening, that could give me do a lot of full tests and to see what the issue was with scans and whatever, the back of the eye, and then they determined what it was. I actually thought it was a torn retina. In fact, I'm sure that I was told that was the reason that the tear occurred, but I've more recently learned that it's not a detached retina. It's just a tear in the retina, a very small one, but it needed urgent attention, well, as quick as possible, because the tear can get larger and liquid can seep into the eye and cause more damage, and then I would have needed an operation, which I didn't need. When I went back to my second appointment, they did some more checks, and then they actually said, do you want some, we can laser it, we can laser the tear back together, basically, there and then. We said, oh, okay then, let's go for it. So they tried to do that, but because it was so far up in the corner, and it was so small, and there was still a lot of there was blood in the eye. They just couldn't see it properly, and it was sort of, at the time, the guy said, well, it's also very close to the outer range of the limit of the equipment anyway. But it was really just due to, it was too much blueness and blood, and they just couldn't see properly to do it there and then. So I had to go back again the following week. Then they did do it. They did do the laser treatment, which was it wasn't painful, it was just really uncomfortable. I suppose it was a bit painful, but I got totally stressed out about it. I got very anxious. I got a bit of a history of anxiety anyway, but I sort of had a mild panic attack, and it was not nice. But they managed to do the laser treatment, but it was not in a good place, and they struggled, but they did it in the end. So that, and then they said, okay, we'll see you in 2 weeks and see whether it settled down, whether it was a success. That was yesterday. So I went to another clinic. It's actually in Yeovil, which is a town not too far from me. and unfortunately it hasn't healed completely. It still needs a little bit more lasering, so I'm not looking forward to that. And that will hopefully be next week, and then I'll have to have another check 2 weeks after that to make sure that it has been a success, and then I can sort of get on. The trouble is, during all this time, I have been advised to, I say mostly rest. I mean, this is another thing I want to sort of talk about. But I'm unable to work, and I have been for 15 years, due to long-term illness. I'll talk about that in a minute. But to do with the eye issue, I haven't been allowed to do any strenuous activity. For me, chronic fatigue is still a bit of an issue. I talk about playing tennis, but playing tennis has been part of my life for so many years, and I'm just happy to be on a tennis court. Whether I can last 5 minutes or an hour, it doesn't really matter. And I get exhausted very quickly, but it's just an escape for me. I have to play tennis. It's a massive part of my life, and without that, I'd probably go nuts. So. But yeah, the fatigue, that's very strenuous for me. I get out of bed very quickly, and I'm knackered completely after any session of tennis, whether it's just a gentle knock or a match against another club or whatever. So I haven't been able to do anything purely because you just can't cause any strain on the eye. It's all right visually. I can look, I can watch TV, I can even play games, although I didn't for the first couple of weeks. But now that's okay. It's not too much. It's not too stressful or too much of a strain to do stuff visually. But physically, I've been very limited, and it's climbing up the walls right now, thinking I've got another 3 weeks without being able to exercise properly. Because that's a big part of this long-term recovery I've been going through, is being able to get my health back, my stamina, my fitness. Is still no way near what I would like it to be, or it should be. It's a big struggle, and it's just more of a delay, which isn't great. Although it's winter right now, and the weather has not been. It's actually lovely today, but generally the weather is pretty crap. It's so dull and bleak, and hasn't been that cold. But it's very typical. As is these days, these years, winters, the past several years, it's just typically, ugh. What can you say about the weather in this country? It's people wonder why the English, the British talk about weather so much. It's because it's always so bloody awful, and it's very changeable. It's a massive topic of any given day. Doesn't matter what time of year. So that's where I am with my eye. I'll talk about what else has been going on with me. But I want to also say that this channel is, it's like I want to build up. I want to build the channel up and do different things. I've been doing some gaming already, which are on there. Just one game at the moment, but I do have 2 or 3 more I want to play and record and put on the channel. But I'm doing it just it's something for me to get involved in. I enjoy it. It takes my mind off all the stuff that's been going on, my health issues and whatever. I just want to try and get involved in something else, and it's a really good thing to do. So many people do it. A lot of people have said, yeah, start a YouTube channel. Why not? It doesn't cost you anything. If it takes off, if people are interested, which is, I'd love that. That's great. I say I'd love that. It doesn't matter. I'm not doing it for anyone else but myself at the moment, and just get involved with something that may take off. It may become something I can do, I don't know, full time, shall we say. But And it's all a learning curve. I'm learning every time I do one of these videos with the editing and using all the different programs and software, and it's great. I'm enjoying it. It's good for me to get involved in something else, because I'm not doing anything. Literally right now I'm just stuck indoors, and not doing a lot. I do game on PlayStation 5 as well, downstairs and on the TV, and PC gaming is pretty cool. I've been doing that for much longer, and it's a bit more a wider spectrum, and there's many more games, and how you can get involved with those games, the modifications, and it's all good stuff. Gaming has been, again, that's been a big part of my life since early teens. I'm 56 now. It's funny actually, when I game sometime, when I play PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, on my PS5, and there's a lot of communication in that. You're in teams, and I love it. I love that. I'm really getting more into multiplayer games these days. I never used to do that. I used to just play RPGs, single player games, and without with anyone else. But I actually really enjoy playing with other people now. But there's so many people, when we talk about ages, and I tell them how old I am, they go, flipping heck. They can't believe it. Usually the oldest person that games that they've ever played with. But that's fine. That's great. There's a lady on YouTube. She does Skyrim videos. She purely just plays Skyrim. She's got her own channel. Shirley Curry, that's her name, and she's in her 80s. Bless her, but she loves it, and she's got a massive following. And I believe she Bethesda, that the developers of the Elder Scrolls series, they're actually going to put her into the next Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 6 game, which would be, God bless her. She's amazing, and she loves it. She's got a passion. It doesn't matter what age you are, if the interest and passion's there, and people can see that when she does her videos, how much she enjoys it. She's, I haven't seen that many recent ones, but I saw it when she first started, just to see how she got on, and she was so naive, didn't know what she was doing. I asked the community. She got a lot of help from people that used to watch her videos, because she used to live stream. I think she live streams most of the time, doesn't record them and put them on like I do. Live streaming, yeah. I mean, again, that's if popularity demands. If people say, if there's a want for live streaming, I could try that. It's just another. It's more experience, isn't it? It's doing something a little bit different. Recording's a bit easier because you can just edit it and put it out as you wish. Take out the bits that you're not happy with. All the big pauses. I'm trying to talk, just let it flow, let it come naturally. And I think that's such an important thing, is to just be organic and be yourself when you do these things. And that's why it's important I'm doing it for myself. I'm happy to share stuff that people want to see, but I don't think it's a good habit to get into just doing things for other people on YouTube. You do it for yourself, and I think people will appreciate that more. So I'll just mention the long-term illness that I've had, which is I contracted Lyme disease. I took out a contract with Lyme disease in 2009. That was. So it's 16 years ago, nearly 16. It was the end of 2009. No, it wasn't. It was in the summer. What am I talking about? It was early summer. That Lyme disease is caused by a tick bite, like tiny little, like a mite, tiny insect that they live in sort of fur-bearing animals, deer mainly in the UK, but rabbits, any animal with fur in, they thrive in. Over here, it's mainly deer, but and this is on the south coast of the UK, and I was walking and it was an early summer's day in this forest with my girlfriend, and I found the tick the following day, and funny enough, my girlfriend had one as well, and we both had it in the same parts of our body, on the back of our right knees. It's crazy actually. I got the disease, she didn't. That's just how it is. It's a very rare. It was rare back then, and it still is. I'd say a rare disease. Although you hear more and more cases coming up, and the more people I talk to, they usually know of somebody that's had it. So I think they know a lot more about it now than when I got it 16 years ago. It might be slightly more prevalent, but it's certainly, they've done more research. They're more they have more of an understanding of the disease, and it's called Lyme, Lyme, Lyme disease, and it's named after. It's a town, I believe, in the States. I don't know which state it is, but in the United States, it's named after that area. I presume that's where it was first encountered. But what's interesting is from the studying I've done a bit of research about it, obviously, because it's affected my life for such a long time. In the States, it's an osteo-related strain of bacteria, so it attacks the bones, more specifically that part of the body. But in the UK, and I'm guessing, I don't know about the rest of Europe, but probably it's a slightly different strain, and it attacks the nervous system, and this is what it did for me. Straight after I was bitten, and as I say, I found it, took it out with some tweezers, but I wasn't aware of the disease at the time, so I didn't think anything of it. And then I went to Spain to live, and it was while I was living in Spain that it got worse and worse. My symptoms got worse and worse. Severe pain and abdominal numbness and facial palsy, neuralgia. So many different things were going on. And of course, then I went to the doctors several times. I was rushed to hospital on one occasion where they did a lot of testing on me. It's interesting because Lyme disease is endemic in Spain, but they did not do the specific test for it. For whatever reason, they didn't believe that I had it, or they just didn't cross their minds that that's what the issue was. So unfortunately, they didn't find it in Spain, but it was through a friend who I was talking to about my symptoms and condition and the mess I was in. They had either heard of it, or they thought they must have known about it, because they said contact this website called LymeDiseaseAction.co.uk. So I emailed them, telling them of my symptoms, and they immediately got back to me. Says, it sounds like you've got Lyme disease. You need to have that tested. You need to be diagnosed. And of course, the best place to do that, for me, would be the UK, to come back to England and be tested. The medical profession, they're great in Spain. I don't speak Spanish really, so that barrier alone was enough for me want to just come back to the UK and talk to people openly, freely, and have them a better understanding through them of what was going on, if that was what I had. So I did that as soon as I got on the next plane back to the UK, as soon as I could, within a few days, and then went to the doctor. She booked a test. This was all again within a day or two. test came back. My doctor actually called me herself and said, look, you have to go to hospital, you have Lyme disease. I did that. So I was between 3 and 4 weeks on intravenous antibiotics. They did lumbar punctures and all sorts of testing. They actually did a video diary in the hospital. The doctors and the trainee doctors used to come around to my bed and video me of all my symptoms, etc., because it was still so new. It was quite unknown. They're still learning a lot about it. It comes under the area of tropical diseases, and so there was a couple of specialists in that area that I saw both on the south coast and when I moved up close to Convalesce, near where my dad lived in Cheshire. So I was seeing doctors and specialists a lot over that those few years after I was diagnosed and came out of hospital. But by that time, though, unfortunately, the disease had done a lot of damage to my nervous system and caused a lot of pain. It was unbearable for a lot of the time. So for that reason, I was put on opiate medication, very strong opiate medication, tramadol, and a nerve pain medication called gabapentin. I was taking other stuff, but they were the two main meds which I was taking throughout the day, several times a day, each one. If anybody knows any about those types of meds, they're very strong, and for 12 years, nearly 12 years, I was taking those meds with increasing amounts towards the end of those 12 years, and unfortunately, that became more of an issue than what the Lymes had done to me. I built a dependency upon it. I got an addiction to those medications. And December 2020, I actually went back to Spain to live again. I was there it was the end of 2018 to about late summer 2018 to December 2019, so just over a year and a few months. And my quality of life was getting worse, and as I said, the dosage was increasing. Quality of life was so bad. I had to do something about what was going on. I was getting in. I was such a mess. I came back to the UK again, desperately looking for help, and this was the best place to find that. And I didn't find any help through the official channels, shall we say? Unfortunately, I'm just trying to think about. Okay, it was just before COVID actually got a grip. No, it wasn't. What am I saying? It was 2020. So I came back at the end of 2019, and for several months I was trying to find help. And I wrote letters to treatment centres, rehab centres, and someone reached out to me. I had no money. I was living on benefits, and I've been living on benefits for 16 years. I haven't been able to work for that time. And very, very kind. I was blessed with this treatment centre called Cloud's House in Wiltshire, who offered me a bursary. So they gave me a place in the treatment centre for free. I'd made a donation with the little money I had, but there's no way I could have afforded the thousands of pounds it would have cost me to stay there, because it was 7 weeks coming off the medication. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. If anyone's gone through rehab, coming off an addiction, no matter what it is, it's a life-changing, quite necessary part of life. It's just a necessary procedure to go through to get better again, to get your life back. It's been tough since coming out of rehab. That was the beginning of 2021, the end of January 21, and I've been in. I consider myself still to be in recovery. I feel there's been a gradual improvement in my health, but I'm no way near to being able to work again or have my fitness or health back to close to what I feel, even an average person of my age where it should be. But it is getting there. It's a process. It's a gradual process, and I think acceptance is a massive thing, and I have accepted it. I'm a Christian. I'm a born again Christian, and having God in my life, I believe, without that, Him helping me through such an experience, I would have been, I might not have even found a way to get better, to come off the medication, to get my life back. But it's a long struggle, and I'm getting there, and thank God for helping me through this process. It's been very hard, such a struggle. We're not out of the woods yet, but it's better, and I'm just trying to do things, and this is one thing I'm trying to do to better my life from what it has been for such a long time. Gosh, that got pretty heavy, but I thought I wanted to share that with you, and hopefully somebody can take something from. If I find it of interest from what I've been saying. So there we are. That's my update. Wow. There's other stuff. There's other stuff going on, of course, but that's what I wanted to get off my chest. And this is the earliest time I've felt I've been able to, just sit in front of the screen here and the camera and just chat. So, wow, that's good. It's cathartic, isn't it? Talking about your issues. I've had counselling in the past because I live in a very remote village, and I could go for weeks, literally weeks, without having human contact. So that's if the weather's bad enough that I can't get to the tennis club. So it's so good to. I mean, I talk to people online when I game. Which is great. That's fantastic to have that interaction. But actually seeing somebody, so the counselling has been great. And my point is, sharing issues that go on, talking to somebody. Usually a stranger is better. That's what's so good about counselling. There's no judgment going on. They'll just listen to you, and you can vent and. You can offload anything that's been going on in your life, and it's a real release. It's very, very, it's very healthy for your mental well-being to just talk about stuff that goes on in your life, no matter what it is. It doesn't have to be about an illness, about struggles. It can be just issues that concerns, things that you've been doing that you've been enjoying. Like I say, I talk about tennis. I love that, and that's a fantastic escape for me. Any sport is good. So there we are. I'm gonna wind down now. But anybody that has been listening to this, thank you. Appreciate it. We'll get back to some gaming very soon, hopefully. I bought this. I'll do that now. I bought this. I'll show you it. So I'll show you the box. I bought this thing, SJ Cam, and it's just a portable recording device camera, like a GoPro. It's not as expensive as a GoPro, but it does the same sort of job, and it's got good reviews actually, that one. Because I want to go out and I want to film the experiences. Just take a camera along with me of stuff that I do, because actually despite my restrictions and health issues and whatever, I have always been very active, and I just try and do stuff. So I love the countryside, and I want to take the camera with me to record the experiences. And I've been fortunate enough to, because I usually go out on my own. In fact, nine times out, I'm always out on my own, and I've got a good knowledge of nature. I did a countryside management course years ago, and I learnt a lot, especially about birds, ornithology. I say I'm a bit of an amateur ornithologist, but I have a love of all nature, but birds in particular. But any animals, all fauna and flora, all flora and fauna. I love. So that'll be interesting. There's some good stuff out there. I live in a very rural area, surrounded by beautiful countryside. It's bloody rubbish at the moment because in the winter it's just wet and muddy everywhere. But as soon as there's an opportunity, I'm going to take the camera out with me and film some of that stuff, which I think will be pretty good, pretty interesting. And any travelling, because I love travelling. I've done pet sitting all around the UK and abroad. I've actually got that's something I was thinking of doing. I've got some old video diaries from when I've done sits in the past. In the Pyrenees, there's one in particular. It's quite funny. Well, I thought it was funny. I just amused myself when I was alone with 8 cats in the French Pyrenees, in the snowy mountains. That was quite an experience. But yeah, that sort of thing. Anything, just want to share stuff, and that little camera should help me do that. So yeah, right, now I'm going to start. I'm flipping out. Am I digressing? But that's fine, isn't it? That's fine. Good to see you. We'll be doing more pretty soon, and I'm going to wrap this one up right here. Might try a little jingle or something. I want to get into the video editing side of things a bit more, and adding stuff to the videos. Not making it too crazy, but I don't know. Effects, bit of music. I watch so many YouTube videos, and I really love it when they put like a bit of a music backing track onto the stuff they do, and something I want to get involved in. I shall dabble. I'll learn. Never too late to learn. Try something new. There you go. But thanks for listening, and we'll catch up real soon, and I'll bring a video to you of some description soon, I hope so. Yeah. Take care. Cheers.